This is 5 on your side at 4. Focused on you.
We are following breaking news as we go on the air at 4. Emergency crews on the scene of a massive plant fire in Fredericktown, Missouri. This is a picture from a viewer of what's been going on just 90 miles from St. Louis. Thanks for being here. I'm Kay Quinn.
And I'm Brent Solomon. We should point out that this all happened within just the past couple of hours. Fredericktown is about 90 miles south of St. Louis, and we have crews headed to that scene. Let's tell you what we know right now. Crews responded to the fire at a company called Critical Mineral Recovery. That's on Highway 00. Right now, we don't know if anyone is hurt.
The plant recycles lithium-ion battery materials that come in from around the world. We're told people north of Village Creek Road at County Road 217 have been asked to evacuate. We have had no additional information about that. Madison County Sheriff has been telling people in the area, if you smell smoke, leave your home. That's the instructions people have been given. Fredericktown R1 School District says students at all campuses will stay indoors for the time being. Parents were allowed to pick up their students early. I just talked with an administrator there who said there was no need to evacuate because apparently while some schools were within the 1-mile evacuation area, the wind was being blown away from the schools. Rather, the wind was blowing the smoke away from the schools. And so schools were actually a safe place for students to shelter in place. Most of the school buses have left for right now. They took safe routes home, and no students at any point were in danger. Police say Highway 00 will be closed for the foreseeable future. That's from Burris to the bypass.
Of course, this is a very developing situation. We're all over it. Again, we have crews headed to the scene. You mentioned that smoke earlier. I'm told that the wind is a big factor there. People can see and smell that smoke, and it's really being blown in different directions.
It is, and we know that the community center, community counseling center, has shut down for the day due to the emergency there. Again, this is in Fredericktown. We had hoped to bring you a report with an online reporter from Park Hills who was telling us that this plant is about the size of 4 football fields. Wow. And it sits down a very narrow road, which we might imagine would be kind of challenging for the first responders, the fire trucks, and all of the other emergency equipment trying to access that area. We have not had any word on injuries at the plant or around the area. We are waiting to get much more information on this. Information's been very slow coming in. Again, speaking with the school administrator down in Fredericktown, she said all students were very calm, that the school staff was able to tell students that they needed to stay in place and would be taken home on safe routes. So we've really had no other information about any kind of injuries or risk to the public other than that evacuation zone.
Here's what we want you to do. Stay with us on air and online, ksdk.com. The latest details as soon as it develops. And remember, updates also available on that 5+ app. Well, Missouri is seeing record turnout in early voting all across the state. Thousands of people have already cast their ballots for next week's election.
5 on your side's Justina Coronel joins us live from St. Charles County Election Authority. Justina, we've been reporting on the challenges voters have been facing there. What's the situation today?
Well, election directors I spoke with earlier today from St. Charles County and St. Louis County say they weren't expecting these numbers and the intensity of this turnout. Now let's dive into some of the numbers we're seeing in St. Louis County. Now it's averaging 20,000 people per day at its 14 locations, and just yesterday it surpassed 100,000 voters voting during no excuse absentee. I'm told this is important because there could be fewer problems on election day. Now let's move to St. Charles County, where they're also seeing big crowds. The election director was expecting 2,500 voters daily at its 2 locations. However, that number has doubled with about 5,000 voters a day. Today, he shared the moves they've made to adjust.
So we bought 4 more on-demand ballot printers and brought more out to here, had more at the Election Authority office so that we can take care of our voters and keep the line moving. We also brought extra poll pad check-in stations so that we have ability to process voters more.
Now, the two locations to vote in St. Charles County is here at the St. Charles County Election Authority in St. Peters and Element Church in Wentzville. And looking at the future, the election director said that they would need more election judges and more equipment to really add more polling places. Reporting live, Justina Cornell, 5 on your side.
All right, thank you, Justina. Missouri voters are weighing in on raising the state's minimum wage. Prop A would increase pay from $12.30 an hour to $13.75 starting January 1st, 2025. It would then jump up to $15 an hour in January 2026. It also calls for more pay bumps, with the minimum wage adjusting to the Consumer Price Index every single year starting in 2027. We spoke with groups that support and oppose the measure.
We are going to see costs increase. We already are feeling the effects of inflation at the grocery store, at the gas pump, at the, your bill when you go out to eat at a restaurant, and we are going to see higher cost of goods and services with this. That's a very big concern.
I've worked in low-wage jobs for over 2 decades, and being a father of 3 girls, me and my fiance work full-time. Despite that, we've been homeless. We've had nights where my girls have had to skip meals. And this is not an anomaly. This has happened to thousands of workers across the state.
Prop A would also require most employers to provide paid sick leave to workers as well.
We want to help you prepare for Decision 2024. We have a voter's guide posted on KSDK.com. If you text the word guide to 314-425-5355, we'll send a link to your phone.
All right, this is Halloween Eve, and the forecast may be putting a scare into some. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell here to tell us how the timing is working out for the arrival of rain and trick-or-treating.
Well, trick-or-treating is not really a concern tomorrow night. Our concern weather-wise is what's coming at us tonight. We've already seen thunderstorms developing out to our west across parts of Kansas, northwest Missouri. Those storms are heading here, and so from 2 a.m. until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, that weather impact alert, we will have the line of showers and storms. There is no question that that's coming our way. The question is how strong the storms will be. A few of them will still have some gusty winds that could cause some damage, and you'll want to and need to keep those devices charged overnight so you have a way of getting that warning information if in fact we need to put it out. Gusty winds could also knock down a few tree branches. We're in the low 80s right now around St. Louis. The thunderstorms, they're north of Kansas City, up Highway 35, and then you go back into Kansas. Look at that line of storms stretching now west of Topeka, west of Manhattan, all the way down into Oklahoma. Some of those already severe this evening. And our Futurecast brings that line on to the east. Now, we'll slow this down as we head into the hours towards 11 o'clock, midnight. You see everything's still back in mid-Missouri, but by 2, 3 o'clock, it starts nudging closer to St. Louis. Should be in the metro area between 3 and 4 o'clock as we head into tomorrow morning. And that's when our chances for severe weather and the impacts from those storms will be. Now, there'll be some rain after it, but it's really right when that storm starts that you'll see the better chances of the strong gusty winds. We'll talk more about the trick-or-treaters. It's okay for them tomorrow in a few minutes.